Okay, since y'all are here, I'm assuming you've already completed the 22-23 FAFSA. What we're gonna talk about is completing the 23-24. Like she was saying, plan ahead. Let's go ahead and get a FAFSA done for 23-24. They were available as of October 1st. If you have not done it, you can go on there. You will use the 2021 tax returns when you do complete the 23-24 FAFSA. If you've already completed one, when you log into FAFSA, all it's going to do is present you with the option for a renewal. And what happens then is that it imports all of your demographic data in there. And then, of course, you can make sure that that's the same. If you have moved, you would update that information. And then after that, you would want to use the Irs Data Retrieval tool. And by using that, what happens is that imports your tax information directly from the IRS, which creates more accuracy and less of a chance of it being selected for verification. Okay? You would add our school code, which it would be presented there from last year since you're doing a renewal. Unless you didn't do one last year, then you would choose to find it, or you can do our code, which is 003611. If you're transferring on out to a different college, it gives you the option to find that college and use their number, okay? Then it goes on to select parent information. If you're under the age of 24, you would then let your parent enter all their data into the FAFSA also, okay? Some of the things that we always suggest that you have on hand when you get ready to do the FAFSA is copies of your tax returns, because when you do try to use the IRS data retrieval tool, it must be accurate. Once you're on the IRS website, it asks for the address. And if you, for example, on your tax returns, it says that you live on 5th Street and it's spelled out, and you just guess and put 5th ST, it's going to kick you out. All of that information has to be precise, otherwise it will kick you out. It'll give you 3 opportunities to enter that information, and if you don't get it done right, then it won't let you use that. Then you would be stuck with trying to look at your tax return and enter the data manually, okay? Basically, that's around all with the FAFSA. You want to make sure that your satisfactory academic progress, which means you're meeting that 2.0 GPA, a pace of 67% or above. The pace is determined by taking all of the hours earned and divided them by the attempted, okay? So if you need help with completing the FAFSA, we're available 8 to 4, Monday through Friday in the financial aid office. You're welcome to come in, okay? Any questions? Have y'all done your FAFSA already for 23-24? Okay. When you get out there and get ready to do it, you'll get an email from FAFSA letting you know it's been processed and it's been made available to the school in a few days, usually 3 to 5. We're probably not importing till February.
Late February, March.
February, March. Then you'll get an email from us saying, hey, your FAFSA has been received for the upcoming fall. If you've been awarded, it'll prompt you to go to your Texan Connect, accept the award, sign the offer letter. If you're not eligible for grants, it'll let you know when you go onto your Texan Connect on your financial aid page that you need to request loans. And that's where Scott will come in and explain loans to you guys.
Okay. I'm Scott Alford. I'm the financial aid loan coordinator. I take care of all the loans that students get here at South Glen College. And first of all, once you complete the FAFSA, like Connie said, at studentaid.gov, then once your FAFSA is processed, if you're eligible for your Pell Grant, that's automatically awarded. You don't have to do anything else except accept it and sign your offer letter. And you do all that through Texas Connect. If you do want loans, we do make you request those. We do not automatically award those like some schools do. Our costs here at SPC are low enough that the vast majority of students do not have to take out loans. Some choose to do it anyway, but we don't want you to go into debt unless you tell us you want to go into debt. So on the financial aid page of my SPC Texas Connect, one of the options from the top drop down is to request a loan. And also, before I get that, on the far right-hand side, there's a link, how to request a loan, that goes through all these steps. So all that is there on the financial aid page of Texas Connect. You do have to, at studentaid.gov, if you take out a loan, you do have to complete entrance counseling and sign a master promissory note, which is your promise to pay your loan back. And then once you drop below 6 hours, you leave a school or you graduate, then you're also required to complete exit counseling. That's further down the road. So again, studentaid.gov, you do entrance counseling, sign your master promissory note at Texas Connect, go to financial aid. One of the drop downs is request a new loan, and click on that, and it takes you through step by step. One thing to note is it automatically splits your loan request into fall, spring, summer. If you know you're not going to come summer, you can uncheck the summer and just have it done fall, spring. If you know you're only going to be here one semester, take the check marks off the ones you're not going to be here. That just makes things easier. You can go back and change it later, but it makes it easier if we just do it all right up front. There are limits on how much a student can borrow per year and lifetime. For a dependent freshman, who again, dependent is under 24, not married, don't have a dependent child, you're considered a dependent until 24. The most you can get for an academic year, fall, spring, summer, is $5,500. Of that, $3,500 can be subsidized, and the rest unsubsidized. I'll talk about the difference in a minute. Once you get to be a sophomore and you've done complete at least 30 credit hours, it goes up by 1,000. You can get up to 6,500 as a dependent sophomore. Of that, 4,500 could be subsidized. If you're considered an independent student, if you're at least 24 years old, you're married, you have a dependent child that you take care of, then you can be considered independent. Those numbers go up. For a freshman, the maximum is 9,500. For a sophomore, it's 10,500. Again, that's for the entire year. Again, the maximum of a subsidized loan for a freshman is 3,500. Maximum for subsidized for sophomore is 4,500. Difference between subsidized and unsubsidized. Subsidized loan means the Department of Education, the government pays the interest on that loan as long as you're in school. You do not accrue interest. So just the principal amount is there for you. For the unsubsidized part, starting the day that we get the money from the government and apply it to your SPC business office account, that loan starts accruing interest. And that interest keeps accruing until the entire loan is paid off. So if we can, we always award subsidized loans first, because that's in your best interest. Because again, the more the loan accrues interest, the more you eventually have to pay. So again, we do subsidize first. And finally, if you are a dependent student and the financial aid between the Pell Grant and the other grants, scholarships, and loans is not enough, your parents can take out what's called a Parent Plus loan. And to do that, they would need to sign in to studentaid.gov as themselves and apply for a Parent Plus loan. And the interest rate is a lot higher on the Parent Plus loan than it is on the student loans. We always encourage, even if you know your parents are going to pay for it, try and do the student loan first, the direct loan, because again, the interest rate's lower. Also, the government charges what's called a loan origination fee. So even though, say you get $3,500, it's going to be what you actually get in your account and what's applied to your account is a bit less than that, because the government takes out a fee. Don't ask me why. Talk to your congressman about that. It's not fair, but that's the way it is. Just be aware of that as well. That's loans in a nutshell. Any questions?
Does anybody have any questions about financial aid in general? I have a question. If students want to go for summer, Is that gonna automatically be taken out, or do they have to request for summer financial aid?
If they have been awarded and they go to their financial aid page, they will see that they were awarded fall, spring, and summer if they were Pell eligible. And the aid is there. We always recommend, check your student bill, because sometimes you may have a bill that's larger than what you've received, depending upon how many hours you're registered in. So anytime you're awarded, we automatically award fall, spring, and summer on the Pell Grant. On the loans, as Scott explained, it by default will do the same thing. It'll split your loan between fall, spring, and summer unless you uncheck the semester you don't plan on attending. If you already received your loan and you unchecked summer, then just be advised, you probably don't have loan for summer.
How many hours do you need to take in the summer to be able to use your financial aid?
Any semester, if you're Pell eligible, you can register 3 hours to be eligible for Pell. However, on summer, it starts to change. If you've used up all of your Pell Grant during the fall and spring semester, and you have Pell Grant awarded for summer, you must be registered at least 6 hours to be eligible for that Pell Grant.
You just complete 6 hours.
Uh-huh.
Because it'll
Is it-
prorate. You know.
Is it for summer 1 and summer 2, or just summer
Just summer.
1? Summer 1, 6 hours, summer 2, 6 hours.
Yeah, you can do summer 1 only 6 hours, summer 2, 6 hours, or you can do summer 1, 3 hours, summer 2, 3 hours. You have to be in summer 1 and 6 hours one way or another to be eligible for that aid if you've already used up your aid during fall and spring. If you went part-time during fall and spring and you have Pell left over, then you could do 3 hours only. Because what the Department of Education is doing by awarding you some summer aid is they're reaching into the future and they're giving you aid from next 6 years that you're eligible for. But you have to complete those 6 hours or else you're going to have to pay it back. Okay?
And with loans, you always have to be enrolled at least 6 hours to get your loan.
To be eligible for loan. Any other questions? That one always gets complicated, and every summer we try to re-explain it, but that's just because there's so many different little variables to that one. If I only went 6 hours in the fall and only 6 hours in the spring, I have 22, 23 aid left over that I can use during the summer.
Can you explain too, for those students that already have loans, to go ahead and apply for that loan relief?
Yeah, the president has, through the Department of Education, said that if you have loans and had loans before the pandemic started, that you can get up to $10,000 of that forgiven. They have released a beta version of the application for that, and you can do that through studentaid.gov. Right now, it's really asking for his name, social security number, address, phone number, email. Whether that changed, again, this is the beta version, so that may change in the future. So if you have loans and had loans before the pandemic started, or got them during the pandemic, those might be forgiven. So it's a good idea to go ahead and fill out the application now. It has to survive some legal challenges. There are those who say the president doesn't have the authority to do that. It has to come from Congress. That's for the courts to decide. But again, if it goes through, it's a good idea to go ahead and fill that out if you've had loans up to now.
Does anybody else have any questions?
I have a question.
Mhm.
So if, let's just say in a perfect world that the loans are forgiven, are you gonna be eligible to get that loan amount back to use in the future?
It will be, again, it'll be forgiven. You do have, like I said, there are limits, lifetime limits on what you can borrow. For an undergraduate, that limit is $5,000 or $57,500. So if the loan's forgiven, whatever you borrowed up to that $10,000 goes away and it resets.
Okay.
Good question. Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you very much for coming out here.
You're so welcome.
If you have any questions at all, always feel free to go by the financial aid office.
We're there,
We're always
8 to
there.
4, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Unless it's a holiday. You're not gonna find us.
Está muy chaparra.
Oh, we
Got
got
our
your
boss's
license.
lunch and we're-
Okay.
Just hit end.
We're gonna go ahead and